Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not hearing you, so...
That's okay. Greg,
Michael Bloomberg surrogate Greg Fisher, who's Bloomberg's campaign co-chair, appeared to go deaf when pressed on a question about how Michael Bloomberg would be able to appeal to Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders supporters. So watch this clip, because this is just, I guess this is how you get out of a hard question when there really is no answer to it.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, look, I was just having a conversation with a very liberal 27-year-old woman who I mentioned Mayor Bloomberg to her, and she looked at me and she said, he's disqualified. I said, disqualified? Why?
Well, Greg, you're talking about income inequality, and he's got $60 billion.
And she said to me, he's a billionaire.
He's the problem.
She said to me, he's a billionaire. And I said, what do you mean
and
he's a billionaire?
What we know in the
That's a
campaign
problem.
already is that when people understands Mike's biography, a middle-class kid who, yes, took advantage of the American dream and made that come. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
but when they take a look at where he is on
persuade me.
climate,
I'm asking you how you. I'm asking you how you persuade
on gun safety. As
I'm asking you
people
how
get
you
to know
persuade
Mike,
the
they're coming our way.
27-year-old.
Clearly, that's what you're seeing in the first 7 weeks of this campaign, and he is positioned then from a job standpoint to take our country to a whole new place. Here's what we know. We know that if we have a candidate that is too far to the left, whether that be Elizabeth or Bernie, we don't have a chance in the general. And that's what this is all about, making sure we have a new person in the White House. And there are untold
So the
number
question,
of people
though, then,
that say,
okay, Greg,
I want to
then
vote
how
for
do you
Donald Trump.
Hold
but
on.
I'm not going to vote for Elizabeth, or I'm not going to vote for Bernie.
but my
so
question
we
to you-
Democrats have got to elect a nominee that can win this general.
My question to you then is, how do you persuade that progressive member of the left who historically wanted to vote for an Elizabeth Warren or wanted to vote for a Bernie Sanders, that that's a bad vote, that vote won't work, and that you need to get them to the middle? My question to you is, what is the argument that you think you are going to proffer that's going to get him there? Or do you write that part of the party off? Which, by the way, may be a strategy. Maybe it's a workable strategy. I'm just asking.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not hearing you, so...
that's okay. Greg, that makes sense. We apologize. It sounds like we have probably lost...
Come on. Look at the gap. He was talking for how long? Saying nothing. Like, if you're doing a live hit and you don't hear anything for, what is this, like 30 seconds, you're going to talk. Look at this. The conversation starts here at 1:16. It goes essentially for over 20 seconds, 25. You're not going to say anything until 30 seconds later. No, you're going to, about like 5 seconds in, you're going to wonder why no one's talking on the other side. You're going to say, hey, are you guys there? What's going on? 30 seconds later, and just so happens once he's done talking, a couple seconds later, oh, I can't hear you, sorry. He has no answer to this question. That's the point. I mean, he brings up this idea that if you go too far left, you're going to lose. Based on what? I mean, you hear people say this on cable news. They never actually have an explanation. Based on what? Because you won't vote for Bernie Sanders? Because you are incredibly wealthy and greedy and you don't want to vote for him? You think the rest of the country won't? Like, what is your actual data? Because I have the data that shows me Hillary Clinton ran as a moderate in 2016, tried to reach out to conservative voters, and she lost. That's the data I have. I have data showing that she suppressed the vote, that Bernie Sanders on election day was winning by 12 points against Donald Trump. That's the data I have. What data do you have? They never bring anything up. They have nothing. They have no argument because there is no argument. So they have to go deaf. It's incredible. It's incredible how these people try to push these lies out there, this propaganda out there. Oh, if you go too far left, you're going to lose, and are never able to back it up. John Kerry, Hillary Clinton. You lose with these kinds of people. You lose with these boring establishment Democrats. You are not going to win this way. You keep losing. You suppress the Democratic base. Again, it's not about getting conservative voters over. It's not about getting millionaires or billionaires on television. It's about getting the people in the country who don't normally vote because they feel disillusioned by a two-party system that does not represent them, because this is a system that represents corporate interest, wealthy interests. So you have to get those people out to vote, and you get them out with a bold message, with a candidate that is a lifelong independent, that has fought for people for 40 years, has an entire record. You can go back and look at the 80s, the 90s. Look at Bernie Sanders fighting for people. That's how you get people out to vote. You give them a reason to come out and vote. Michael Bloomberg is not going to bring anybody out to vote. He will suppress the vote, I would say even more so than Hillary Clinton would. And even in the case, if Bloomberg runs as a third party, first of all, I hope the mainstream press goes after him for potentially splitting the vote. But at the same time, I think there's a good chance Bloomberg is barely going to get any votes. He'll get, again, the millionaires or the billionaires in the country, and on either side, in either party, conservative, Democrat, liberal, whatever, Bloomberg may get like the wealthy people, but a Bernie Sanders candidacy would bring out a mass movement of people, a mass movement of non-voters that didn't come out in 2016 that will come out and vote for Bernie Sanders over Donald Trump. So look, at some point, I hope these people make some kind of argument for their case that a person that runs on a progressive platform can't win, but they haven't brought up a single point yet. And when pressed on it, they pretend to go deaf.